By the end of today's episode, this man could be playing in Wanderers colours. And that is bloody exciting. Yes, folks, how is it going? And welcome back. It's episode number 34 of Park to Prem here with Wanderers FC. Today, we kick off the championship season and season number 5. It's a big one. There's still plenty of transfer business going on. Of course, if you watched to the end of last episode, you know the deal at the moment. We left things, and we still have things, with AA potentially leaving the club for £10 million. He is potentially on his way to Aston Villa. That is money all being received up front. I am, to kick things off today, just going to offer him out for £12 million. I would like to try and inspire a bidding war, maybe. I feel like that would be a good thing to do. But most importantly, we need to just generate £5 million because I am desperate to sign Marcus Sheldon. This guy plays for Reading. He is in the League One Media Dream 11, 19 years old, release clause to teams in a higher division of £5 million. We've triggered that. We've made him an offer. The ball is in his court. If we sign him, he'd potentially be the most exciting player we've signed so far this save game. But of course, we have been incredibly active in the transfer window already this year. We've spent £7.25 million without actually selling anyone of significant note yet. Of course, we did sell some players, and last year we made a load of money off Kingdom moving on for £3.3 million. That, combined with the departures of Deborah, Sharman Lowe, Thornton and Voltman, really allowed us to spend some money. Some nice sales here. Voltman, maybe the one I'm the most sad about. I was really hoping after his season in League 2 he'd step up with us. Last year he just was not good enough. And of course, in terms of transfers in, 7 new signings. The most significant, I guess, Haig here, who I still think is absolutely amazing value for money. £3.5 million from Charlton in League 1. A great deal. And also JJ. I've seen some controversial comments, shall we say. People aren't entirely sold on JJ as a centre-back. I'm going to hope he can step up and be the man I think he can be. I really, really believe in him. Last year we had Mbete at left wing back, and I feel like he is a slightly better version of Mbete for the right-hand side of our defence. Now, of course, the board expectation for this year, avoid relegation. I would like to do that at the very least. I don't think this is going to be a straightforward year. Definitely don't expect us to be too close to the playoffs. The reality is that we just lack a little bit of quality. The only way I could really maybe see us doing it is if, crucially, Andy White can stay fit this year. I know the irony in me saying that with him injured. And potentially if Sheldon comes in and hits the ground running. Last year in League One, we didn't have a stand-up goal scorer. I feel like that is essential to make progress this year. In terms of the finances, £3 million in the bank is really healthy. Going to be interesting to see what happens with our overall balance. Over the last few years, we've steadily lost money month to month due to our facilities and the youth level kind of costs associated with that. Every time you see us earn some money, that is me selling on a player of significant value. I'm kind of hoping that this year, given the fact our wage spend hasn't rocketed too high up, we're going to be in a world where the overall balance kind of just plateaus, as opposed to us losing money and being reliant on that conveyor belt of talent. First game of the season, by the way, today is going to be against Luton at home. They are a good little team. Currently, well, you can see here, prediction of 10th, currently in 10th. Patrick Vieira's their manager. We do have a midweek game against Coventry in the Carabao Cup. I'm afraid to say I'm not going to worry about the Carabao Cup against Coventry. Instead, we're going to have full focus on the league, which means the second game today that we're going to do is going to be this one against Swansea. To kick things off today, we are going to do our yearly squad rundown. I feel like this is always a nice thing to do ahead of the new season. What's not so nice is the goalkeeping situation. Harry Evans, I initially signed to be a backup goalkeeper. £650,000, to be fair, isn't cheap. I think when I spent that money, I had this notion in the back of my mind, he may end up having to start for us if I couldn't find anyone else. I love his aerial reach. I love his jumping reach. Shot-stopping wise, the one-on-ones and handling can maybe be a little bit better. Like I said, I brought him in initially to be a backup. He's on £2,000 a week. There just wasn't another goalkeeper out there, and we needed 2 goalkeepers. In the end, I needed to make another signing before the start of the season, and I've gone with Jack Wint, in on loan from Fulham. He's joined us on £4,500 a week as a loan signing. Really, the mindset with these 2 goalkeepers is I'm going to give them both a chance, I think, to earn a spot. If one of them isn't performing, the other one will come in. In an ideal world, between now and the end of next month, when the transfer window closes, A goalkeeper falls from the heavens that I like the look of. As for our third choice goalkeeper, it's Miles Roberts. He's been here many years. You should be familiar with him in the sense that I talk about him for 20 seconds at the start of every season and then we never see his face again. Now in the centre-back area, we currently have 6 players. This is an area where maybe I could do with getting in another player. Of course, Burgess, who was a squad player at defensive mid, we've opted to loan out to League One Preston for regular first-team football. I talked about JJ already. He will be playing alongside our captain in Edmondson. Last year, George Edmondson was playing as that wider right wing-back. This year, he's going to be the man in the heart of our defence. Given he has the best aerial ability in the team, I think from a defensive point of view, it just makes sense. And Bete, on the other hand, on the left-hand side, is a very good left-footed centre-back. Not exactly a specialist. I think he's the kind of player who maybe only has 1 season left as a regular starter for us. But at least for now, there were higher priority positions than him to replace. In terms of the other backups we have, Will Fish joined us last January. He was very useful when we called upon him. He will be the first kind of reserve should anything happen. Zach Ora is another solid defensive option who's very well-rounded. And in an emergency, Connor Pye could play centre-back. Ideally, he will still be a depth option at left-back primarily. Speaking of which, left-back. Always been an interesting position in our team. Typically, AA has been the go-to man. He is on the verge of leaving the team, of course, to go to Aston Villa. I've decided to drop him from today's game, partially because of that offer that's coming in for him, but also because we've got a new left wing-back who doesn't show up when I filter left wing-backs. That man is Omari Hutchinson. Yeah, we've loaned this guy in from Ipswich. He is a very, very talented player. Definitely more of an attacking player, but you can see here, competent at left wing-back. At the end of last year, we shifted our tactical system to ditch the regista in favour of a deep line playmaker who would defend. With that in mind, I feel like that offers the opportunity to have a more attacking left wing back option. Hutchinson is that man. If I quickly compare him with AA, you can kind of just see how different these two players are. Hutchinson also has some really good set pieces, which I think are going to be useful. Combined with some great acceleration, I think his ability to hit on the counter could be quite nice. Only minor concern, really, the 9 stamina. In terms of the other left-back options, Connor Pye I talked about before. Gavin Wallace on the bench today, 17 years old, listed as our club's hot prospect. Had a banging few games to end the end of last year. Really, really impressed when we gave him a chance in the event of an injury crisis. Sadly, he did pick up a few injuries of his own over the course of the last few months. I'm going to hope he stays fit. I want him really to be a regular player on the bench who we can bring on. Want to see him develop. He will still be available for the under-21s. Though. Right wing back, maybe an area where we're lacking a little bit of depth. I have got a plan to address this. Ajaria, of course, our starting right wing back, vice captain, will be playing on the regular. George Marsh is going to be first deputy in this area. Very good from a defensive point of view. Given how gung-ho I think we're going to be on the left-hand side of the wing back position, I think just having someone who's a bit better defensively there is kind of nice. And if you're wondering, who's the third choice? My thinking is that if AA does confirm a transfer away from the club, we will train him to play right wing back. Right now, he can already play right back a little bit. And of course, he's natural on the left-hand side. But AA is right-footed. And if we are in a world where I'm going to phase him out the first team a little bit, but have him back on loan for the year, just training him to play right wing back, which I've already got set up here, I think could just make sense. Defensive mid-wise, really happy with this part of the pitch. Let's be honest, Carl Flood was the standout performer last year. He developed a lot as well. We snapped him up on a free transfer from Aston Villa. Last year, I'll admit, the numbers here don't look the most impressive. He played over 60 games across the whole season as a starter and on off the bench. Alongside him, of course, Haig joins us as the new defensive cog in the machine. I feel like these two players alongside one another, rather complementary, if I might say so myself. They're kind of a yin and yang situation. It's a bit like Matos and JB of the last few years. Speaking of which, they are both still at the club as depth options. Matos, sadly, won't be on the bench, but of course, with 9 sub options and many a game to play this year, I'm sure he'll feature from time to time. George Marsh and Orr are the other defensive mid options. Talked about them both already. I like our depth here. At centre attacking mid, Aaron Ramsey is probably the best player in the team to play this position. He might be the best player in this team, full stop. Really, really rate him massively. Suppose his valuation is a reflection of his ability. Crazy that we got him on a free transfer. More crazy, he's still contracted for 4 years on £5,000. If he picks up injuries, Gelhardt is definitely a man we could bring in to play in the centre attacking mid position. Besides that, though, there is plenty of depth here. JB could move forward. To be honest, Corey J Gerrard is a player who I want to give more and more first-team football to. He's been developing really, really nicely in the off-season, and giving him minutes in the Championship, I think, is the name of the game. Little bit concerned that maybe he's not quite of Championship quality yet, but sometimes you have to rush players in to develop them, and there's potential to be fulfilled here. And right now, Corey needs that time to hopefully fulfill it. And as for strikers, well, I've already mentioned we might have one new player in Sheldon joining us, and we have Andy White in the team currently. He is actually injured to start the year. What was his injury? I feel like it was something minor. It's a tight groin. I almost don't want to risk it in the opening game. So I think to start things, we're going to go with the front two of players that, before I managed to renew Andy White's loan, I was thinking would start for us. It's going to be Dane Scarlett out on the right-hand side. He's played in the Championship before and returned some goals, let's say, for Oxford. Wasn't exactly an emphatic season in the Championship. Last year for us, he was pretty consistent. 21 goal contributions in 41 games. Maybe would have liked a few more goals, but he didn't really deliver them. Geldhart, of course, is a very capable, versatile player through the middle. And alongside these guys, we've got options in the striking area. Colin George was a new addition that we picked up this summer. £150,000 from the National League. Feels like a bargain buy. Obviously, he was formerly of Burnley's academy. When we take on Burnley, I might make a point of playing him. And elsewhere, alongside Corey Gerrard and Andy White, we also have Joe Taylor. At one point, I did have him demoted down to the under-21s, but until we have another striker signed, which of course might still happen, I feel like Joe Taylor is still a useful player to have in the first team. He's a decent little striker, had an okay season in League One, had a great season in League Two. Obviously, he's played at this level before, not really shone. In all honesty, if a team offered £2 million for him right now, I would probably just sell him for it. Like I mentioned before as well, Championship has 9 players on the bench, so we've got plenty of versatility there. It's worth noting as well, there's still lots of wheeling and dealing, I think, to still be done here. Sometimes you get to the start of the season and the first game and you feel very settled and happy with your team. I'm still very much still looking for improvements. The good news is, even without AA's departure, which does feel somewhat inevitable, there is money to be spent if we want to spend it. And that brings us on all very nicely to this. First game of the year, Luton Town at home. I would love to get off to a winning start. I feel like momentum is going to be very, very important. Luton, just as a reminder, have 3 players that earn more than my entire team combined. Yeah, it is the rich versus the poor here. It's the Wanderers I was going to say the Sheriff. I'm trying to turn this into a Robin Hood thing, but, well, we're not based in Nottingham, so it makes no sense. It's important to make the most of home advantage. Let's win today. You know what? I just want to get the players fired up. It's the first game of the year. Yes, we're lacking Andy White. I could bring him on off the bench, but with that tight groin, he scares me a little. In terms of what I'm expecting from this performance, I want to see us battle. I would love to see Amari Hutchinson at left wing back look absolutely mad. Worth noting that this year we are going to be going up against significantly better teams than ourselves. With that in mind, I am looking to shift the mentality. Talked about it last episode, but we are now playing on cautious, at least to start the season. Last year we played on positive. I feel like with our shape, we're kind of set up nicely to sponge up pressure. And especially in the Championship, where you have lots of former Premier League teams and teams that, let's be honest, have significantly higher reputation than us, they're going to play against us and look to attack, and we're going to instead look to counter in behind, just like that. Dane Scarlett, 8th minute of the game, 1-0. A man who probably wouldn't even be in the starting 11 if it wasn't for the fact that we have an injury. JJ laying it wide to Ajaria. He lays inside. Scarlett picked this up, still had a lot to do. Keeper couldn't stop it going in, right into the top corner. Did wonder off the back of that goal if we'd suddenly go out and score a load. Hasn't quite played out that way. Half an hour played. Ajaria gets injured. Okay, George comes in. That's not good if that's a long-term injury, a potential foot injury. I'm going to hope it's minor. Like I mentioned, my plan for the year was to train AA to play in Ajaria's spot if an injury came about. That concerns me a little. Maybe I have to dip into the market and find a right wing back, but... Well, you know what? Let's see what Marsh can do there, and let's see what we can do here, because we've actually got possession. We had a corner that was dealt with. Hutchinson, hoping he's going to provide that creative spark at left wing-back. He loses out possession there. Now they're going to look to get in behind. Through the middle they go. Morris, dispossessed. Nice tackle there. Scarlett, Marsh, sliding in at right wing-back. Tries to pick out Ramsey once. Manages to get back on the ball. Gives it to Scarlett, who scores... I thought for a moment it was going to be offside. The flag hasn't been raised. We double our lead. Dane Scarlett had 8 goals for Oxford, didn't he, in the Championship a few years ago? He's already got 2 inside the first half of our first game of the season here. Luton have had 58% of the ball, but despite that possession, they've not created anything with it. 4 minutes of added time makes me think that Ajaria was on the floor for a little bit being treated. But you know what? I'm not going to concern myself with that, because we are playing really, really well here right now. A little bit concerned about Edmondson on an injury, just wondering if I want to change anything in this game. I think I'm going to leave it as it is for now. Amari Hutchinson's currently on a 6.6. Obviously, it's his first ever game playing left wing back. We will give him time to figure out the position and the role. But, well, we're going to need to see him play well for me to continue with this experiment. Then again, you know what? We've not conceded yet. I've probably jinxed it now, but we've not conceded yet, so why worry about it? Evans makes a save there, the goalkeeper. I'm not even sure the shot was on target, but you know what? We'll give him the save in his stats. It's going to make him look like a more impressive goalkeeper come the end of the year. We've got a corner, which Edmondson's going to head away. Luton a bit lively to start the second half. I don't love that. Ramsey with the ball, gives it to Scarlett. Of course, he's going to be on the hunt for a hat-trick. Marsh tries to nod it down to Dolk, can't quite pick out the ball, and now Baptiste is bringing the ball through the middle here. Gives it to Moreton, who's going to look to cut inside on his left foot, and does so, and finds the back of the net. If I'm not mistaken, this guy used to be a Romanian wonder kid in Football Manager. He might still be quite good, to be fair, Moreton. I've not heard his name in a while. He's cut inside on his left foot, got him behind, and Bete, not the best at defending. The lead is cut to 1. And if you're wondering how good he is, yeah, here's how good he is here. He's on £53,000 a week. It's just not fair. I mean, he's good. He's not that good, is he? Coming up to an hour play, do wonder if I should maybe make some subs here with that Luton opportunity. I've decided to hold off doing them. Am I going to regret that immediately? The man who just scored, whipping the ball in, back post, and Mads Anderson rockets that into the top corner. 2-0 to 2-2 in 15 minutes. I knew it started off far too well. Ball whipped in, Anderson on the volley, Evans gets a hand to it, not a strong enough hand, it has to be said. And well, Luton had 1 shot all of the first half. They managed to have, 3 immediately in this half, and all of them have been on target. Okay, Hutchinson's not impressed me here. Gavin Wallace, come on down. I love the fact that left back was our secure position. Now, I'm alternating between a left winger, who's more of a centre attacking mid, and a youth prospect. Connor Pye is sat on the reserves in shambles, but given the fact he's trying to leave the club, I do not care. Do I want to make more changes here? Ramsey at centre attacking mid's not been great. I'm going to bring in Corey Gerrard. Up top, Andy White has an injury. It's a tight groin. I don't really want to risk it because he had injury issues last year. Instead, I'm going to bring in George. Colin George, we signed from Fylde, and I'm going to play him, I think. Am I going to play him as a pressing forward? I feel like he doesn't really have a great attacking role. Advanced forward probably is better for him, isn't it? I feel like fresh legs are needed. If nothing else, George, with 14 acceleration and 14 pace, is going to run their defence ragged in what remains here. I feel like he's a good striker to have when we want to catch teams on the counter-attack, which I think might be the task at hand here against Luton. I'm going to encourage our players just to get a little bit more direct with our passing here. I mean, a draw would still be a pretty good result to open up the season. I wouldn't be concerned with that. Bit concerning, perhaps, the nature of conceding a goal from a set piece inside the first game of the year. But 2 goals? Something to be positive about. Dane Scarlett opening up his account is nice. Of course, if we go from 2 goals up to lose this game, that is concerning immediately. And we've given away a penalty. We've given away a penalty. Dolk has given it away in the centre of the defence. And now Luton with a chance to go from 2-0 down to 3-2 up. I'm looking at Evans in goal to be a hero. Can he make a save? He goes the wrong way, and it's 3-2 Luton. Okay, well, we've got to go attacking at this point. There's no point in trying to sit back and do anything. I've already made all but 1 sub in this game. Dane Scarlett's on for a hat-trick. I feel like I have to keep him on. I've changed personnel here, there, and everywhere. I'm going to bring in JB, I think, for Dolk. Obviously, Haig here just gave away the penalty. A little bit concerned that at 19, maybe lack of match experience is going to impact his ability to maintain, well, his head, his composure, and his performance, having done that mistake. I mean, 3-2 sucks because we were ahead, but I still have faith that we can score. You know what? I feel like Luton have been good. We are capable too, and it's not like we've been demolished in this game. We took our chances well, it has to be said, but they've not done a great deal in this game. And while we're on the attack here, Dane Scarlett shoots. It's a hat-trick. It's deflected in, and it looked like the most scuffed finish ever. You know what? That's why I'm not going to be concerned. Changed our tactics before the penalty replay was shown, and immediately we've been rewarded. The ball's given away in a bad area here. George picks it up really nicely, lays it to Gerrard. He gives it to Scarlett. It's not a pretty goal, but it's a goal nevertheless. I'm going to go off attacking and just go to positive for mentality here. I'm also just going to shorten the passing back to what we know. 3-3 in this situation would be a good result if we could get it. Have a sneaking suspicion based on how this game's played out. It might not be done yet, though. There is 7 minutes and counting. Moreton, who, let's be honest, has absolutely torn us a new one in this game. A goal and an assist for him. He's run the show from the right-hand side, and now Harris is in behind and scores, and it's 4-3. I mean, it's an absolute classic for the neutrals. I am not a neutral. I am not having fun. And having made those previous changes, we're going back onto more direct and attacking. Mbete dragged massively out of position. We just look flat-footed there. Marsh does not track Harris in behind. Would Ajaria have spotted that run? Hate to say, I think he probably does. Right, shout, demand more from the players. Is there time for a late goal? 5 minutes of added time at the end of this game. There's now 2 minutes. I've left it too late to go completely gung-ho here, haven't I, really? Unfortunately, having made all our subs, there's kind of limited changes I can do here to radically change things. I mean, what can I change here? Gavin, this is not a plan. I mean, at least everyone now is playing in preferred positions. What is this? I'll tell you what it is. It's pure, unadulterated desperation that amounts to nothing. Dane Scarlett gets a hat-trick. It's not enough to win us the game. New goalkeeper, new centre-back, no first-choice left-back, no first-choice right-back. I'm looking for many excuses. We've conceded 4. You can't expect to win games when you concede 4. Ajaria's out to 3 to 4 weeks. Not good. Might need a right-back. The only positive I can find today is James Burgess played 90 minutes in League One. I'm going to look at that as our positive. We've loaned him to Preston. I feel like this guy could have been a useful squad player for us, but he wanted some minutes. I need him playing regularly. Yeah, keep playing, please, James. Also, Dane Scarlett scored 3. That's another positive that can definitely be had. Obviously, to lose. Disappointing. Right, up next we've got the Carabao Cup. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about that for today's video. Instead, focus is on the league, which means we're coming back to take on Swansea. Another team tipped to finish in the top half of the table. Definitely not an easy game by any means. Fernino is their key man. I mean, he's very good, isn't he, in Football Manager? I'm scared. I'll see you in a mo. Bad news, there'll be no Carabao being drunk on the streets of London tonight. We lost to Coventry 3-1. I played a really, really rotated team in this game. Midweek fixture early on, didn't really want to risk things. Did give Jack Wint the game in goal. Despite conceding 3, he actually got a 7.3 rating and looked quite good in goal. So I might have to give him the nod if we don't see a better performance from Evans in the next league game. You can see as well here, Colin George picked up man of the match. So that's a positive I'm going to find. He got an assist. Doesn't look out of his depth in the Championship right now. Oh, and in some more news, AA has now officially left the club for £10.25 million. Of course, he's back on loan. He's back training to play right wing back, where incidentally he played against Coventry. And in perhaps the most exciting news of all, Marcus Sheldon is here. We have signed him for £5 million. It cost us in the end. There's a relegation release clause. Hopefully that won't be needed. 4-year contract extended by 3 years if we get promoted on £8,000 a week. This guy looks absolutely top draw. His mentals are lacking a little bit, so we're training to work on his composure and decision making, but his physicals are great. Technicals for a striker are superb. And for today's game, he is alongside Andy White. Ramsey will be in behind. Hutchinson remains at left wing back. Wallace, you are not meant to be there, my friend. It's going to be AA at right wing back. I know he doesn't know how to play here, but he's right-footed. He can play left wing back. It's just the same thing, but in a mirror. So it's going to be fine. Of course, Ajaria is currently out injured. Not going to be back for a while. If AA doesn't show me anything promising between now and, well, the end of the month, might go and try and find a new backup right wing back. Swansea, by the way, won their opening game of the year against newly promoted Wigan, but it was only 1-0. So I want to believe that maybe we can give them a good game here, but away from home, I know it's not going to be easy. I'm going to tell the players I've got faith in them. Good reactions. Andy White and Sheldon. Are we about to see the start of a new Wanderers era here? If they perform as they could, those two strikers, with Ramsey in behind, we could be really good this year. You might have spotted I am playing Sheldon as a pressing forward. I think ideally I would play him as an advanced forward and move Andy White across, but I told Burnley Andy White would be an advanced forward this year, so I don't really want to play two advanced forwards, I don't think. That might be something that I change if Sheldon just doesn't really perform as a pressing forward. But we'll wait and see what the season brings as Flood wins the ball. Andy White comes away with it through the middle and opens up his account for the season and the game. Wasn't fit for the last match, straight into the team, scores inside the first 10 minutes. Andy White is just a big brute of a man, isn't he, at times? I forget how big he is here. Look at this, two defenders, he gets through them, and he scores there. That is a really good goal, actually. By the way, you might have spotted it, we are still playing on this cautious mentality. I think I might have to experiment with when I want to use it and when I don't want to use it, but I feel like in a game like this, it's needed. I've noticed that they got Brian Gruder at centre attacking mid. This guy just plays for Swansea. They signed him on a free transfer casually. I mean, he's just good. He's on £30,000 a week, mind you. Very good player. If you watched that Union Berlin save game last year, you know how good that man is. He's bloody good in Football Manager. He's quite good in real life too. Unfortunately, in this game, we've completely nullified him. There's 5 minutes left of the half. We've not exactly had an abundance of chances. Swansea have not had a shot. Until now. He says, as Evans has the ball in his clutches. There is, 20 seconds left of the half. A second goal for us. I'm going to be delighted. If we were to concede against a run of play, I'd be annoyed. Ramsey with the ball, charging through the middle, pulls the trigger. That was a little ambitious, wasn't it? That effort by Ramsey ends the half. 1 goal to the good. I want to tell the players I'm really happy, but I'm concerned about complacency. I'll tell them I'm doing well. Keep working. Do not give up our lead like last time, please. I'm not making any changes, although I have just spotted here Haig Dolk on a booking. Do I want to sub him off? Do I want to leave that risk? That does scare me a little bit. I realise at right wing back, we've not seen much of AA yet, have we? He's in uncharted territory on the right hand side. So far, so good for him in terms of we've not conceded down his wing. Well, we've not conceded anywhere. We've not really had any chances against us. And in fact, we're bringing the ball forward here. Hutchinson, what a ball to Ramsey, who scores. Amari Hutchinson is going to become the left-sided Trent Alexander-Arnold for us in the Championship. What a pass. What a goal. Okay, look, I'll admit it. Might have been getting a bit carried away early on. But this little give and go, Ramsey to Hutchinson, who has the capability to pick out passes like that. Lovely goal. I feel like AA can't do that. Gonna praise the players. At 2 goals up, we deserve it. We could get another here. Ramsey, whip it in the corner, back post, goes over everyone. Edmondson is tall. He is not that tall. And now Gruder is bringing it forward on this near side for Swansea, who have done very little in this game so far, but this man is a little dynamo. He can make magic happen, and that is what he's going to try and do here. Barnes, Gruder, edge of the box. It's an own goal. Well, it's not been given as an own goal. Is that a hit? Is that a hit, Allen? Also, why is AA there? Edmondson at right wing back. What? Why is AA in the middle? Is he okay? He's a right wing back. That, by the way, was Swansea's first shot of the game. Please not again, Football Manager. I couldn't handle 2 games in a row. AA wins it nicely. Let's see what he can do now. He needs to make amends for the own goal that wasn't given as an own goal. It was an own goal in my eyes. Keeper would have had it. Nice tackle by Flood, but straight to Sheaf. They've got the ball here. Edmondson wins the ball really, really well. He has long legs like a daddy long legs to just get his foot in there and win the ball. And now Sheldon, dropping deep, is going to try and be creative. Gives it to Ramsey. In behind. Second goal of the game for Aaron Ramsey. Sheldon with an assist on his debut. Some of the new signings are looking pretty good here. Swansea predicted to finish in the top half. Thought this would be a tough game. So far, we're looking good. Again, scoring loads of goals defensively, maybe a couple of question marks. But we don't look outclassed, do we, at the moment? Last game, obviously, after we went a few goals down, we looked outclassed. But actually, in reality, we are giving teams a proper good go. And Ramsey, I mean, he might not get a bit easier chance, a better chance for a hat-trick than that. An hour played, I'm going to bring in some fresh legs. JB on for Dolk. Elsewhere, Ramsey. Do I keep him on? I feel like I should keep him on, but I also kind of want fresh legs in the final third somewhere. Andy White's coming back from injury. You know what? We'll take him off and bring him back in. Dane Scarlett. Dropped after scoring 2 goals last game, by the way. I'd be fuming if I was him. George Marsh I'm going to bring on at right back as well. Swansea, a little bit of sustained period of possession here as they knock it around the back. Norocki with it, gives it to Kozza in the middle, although we've won it well there. JB gives it to Sheldon, goes wide. Marsh on off the bench, options in the middle. Dane Scarlett. He was offside, it wouldn't have counted anyway. The game is opening up, it feels like, with tiring legs, and well, we might be the team tiring. Gruder talked about how creative he can be. He puts it in, Firmino scores. There's 2 minutes left. I don't want to go too defensive here, but I'm going to do something that's a bit risky in the sense I'm going to ask the players to lower the tempo, slow the play down, and just try and hold on to the ball a little bit better by playing the ball out from the back when we have it. In this game, we've not had a great deal of possession. I now want to try and play keep away, for the next 2 minutes plus added time. 6 minutes of added time. Okay, we need to survive this. We need to get through it. We're gritting our teeth. We're holding on to the first 3 points of the season. When you look at the bar charts, when you look at the stats, it's kind of a good visualization of just the fact we were really bloody good today. That was a way better performance. Ramsey, man of the match. Marcus Sheldon and Andy White playing well is great to see too. And, well, we have our first win of the year. That's a relief. Have just realised our next game is against Burnley. Andy White can't play against his parent club. So he played really well in that game. Can't feature in the next one, sadly. Ramsey with 2 goals. Give that man some praise. Really, really great performance by us there. A little bit nervy. Bit annoying that we conceded 2 goals from such a low XG, but you know what? I'm going to find the positives. I was worried that if we didn't get a win today, I'd start to get nervous. I'd feel twitchy. There's some tactical changes and gambles we're making, especially with personnel. They're paying off at the moment. Anyway, folks, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you think of the signing of Sheldon. I genuinely think he is going to be a man who can fire us into the Premier League one day. Premier League potential, decent championship player, super consistent. To be honest, £5 million for an English player this good? It just feels like a bargain to me. Next time, hopefully, we'll have a better idea as well of what we're competing for in the Championship. At the moment, I'm in a bit of unknown waters. I need to play a few more games, figure out what is our level, what are we capable of. Next time out, hopefully we're capable of wins. I'll see you guys then. I'm out.